Andy Swann, production manager. How on earth did he ever grow up to become a production manager? It's not even a career one conceives of. No one ever comes into a school careers day and talks about how awesome it'd be to be a production manager. He reviews some paperwork on his desk. Day after day, he worries after the efficiency of his company, a company which, by the way, he has given him a job that makes him sound like some shoddy office wimp to his children. They didn't want him to come to career day. He could tell. They came home with the forms and went straight to their mother. Why? Because firefighter sounds cooler than a production manager. Everyone knows what his wife does as soon as she says it. Oh, firefighter, yes, automatic hero cred. Production manager, eyes glaze over. He receives a text from his daughter. It says, "Dad, you never filled out the career day form. I told all my friends you would come. Please call the school and say you'll come." He calls the school, tells the secretary he wants to speak at career day. "And your job," the secretary says. "Production manager," he says, somewhat proudly.
Okay, so for the next 6 or so minutes, let's think a bit differently. I'm going to share a story of every man, a thoroughly modern tragedy. For our purposes, we're going to call him John, but he's as likely to be Jane, Jamil, or Anon. So there are millions of them who go to work daily. They're watching the time, wasting opportunity. It's their lives. They're disengaged, restricted, categorised, unnoticed. They're employed to perform tasks, not for who they are. So we need to change that. And this guy John showed me why. Now, you wouldn't pick John from a crowd. An uneventful life, hampered by underperformance. He was ignored at school. A degree, he finished at 15 and was left by the system to become part of a machine. No career, no ambition, told to hope for a job at best. Production operative. Polo shirt supplied. 40 hours, plus overtime, minimum wage, gratitude expected, but progression denied. So 10 years later, he's still there, he's still drifting. Dutifully, John counts the hours by. 5 days on, live for the 2. Cash in the back pocket is used and abused. But now, age 40, he's searching for something. Meaning, purpose, a value or 2. And then one day, events seem to turn in his favour. So he's called into the office and he's given a rise. Production manager. "John, that's great." And he pauses and he thinks. For a while. "Well, it's more money, yeah, but now there's shit to deal with and I don't bloody care. You see, my boss is a prick who can't make his mind up and nothing's set up right. I'm close to despair. I'm only there for the lads. They're a right good bunch. And if I don't look out for them, no one will. Work's the thing you do to fund your life, yeah? It's necessary at best, like climbing Sisyphus Hill. Now, I met John at a barbecue over the summer, and I wanted to shake him alive, because it petrifies me that this man will die with no chance to thrive. As I watched, he swigged from a can and cracked open another one. He put his feet up and seemed okay with life. Because it's Saturday, and the sun is out, and it's shining. And that's John's happy place. It's his time to thrive. But then his phone rings. And I'm no psychologist, but I bear witness to having seen a man transformed in front of my eyes. Because although he thinks he's speaking in code, there's an awkward moment where everyone around the table realises that John's brokering a low-level drug deal. So he finishes his call, makes his excuses and leaves because there's something he has to do. And some around the table mutter, "What a waste." And yet I tend to agree. Because the employer he's worked for over 10 years has never taken the time to look at John for who he really is, what he really can be, what he can offer. They've missed so much, but so has he. Now, someone needs to rip up the job description, rethink his workplace, and unleash John. Because he's on time, he's reliable, he knows the place like no other. He's got 10 years of service in the ear of the team. He understands process, best practice at ground level, but no one's engaged him, understood what he's seen. And that's just John, the production manager. Because the John I saw that afternoon came alive and he was awake. He thought fast, he reacted, he communicated at pace. Coordination, organisation, customer service, and a salesman, an eye for a deal, a networker, all at once. But no one's noticed, ever. So break up his job, create a new working environment, be led by John's strengths, and let him suggest tasks. He'd get more, he'd give more, but then multiply that energy, because if you unleashed everyone that way, imagine the change. You see, John's not engaged, he's not understood. A piece of paper governs what he shouldn't and what he should. Job description, he fits in a category. The paperwork's done, but no one checked under the hood. Because yes, John can manage by numbers, but he has ideas, insight, and ability. His human uniqueness can't be categorised by a generic description on paper. And yes, his employer has production schedules and deadlines, location-specific requirements, and all the other usual restrictions that keep the Johns of this world tethered. But what if we cut the leash? What if we access the humans? My bet is we'd achieve the process end far better if we release the people. No, John will never be working from a tablet in a coffee shop, but actually who says he'd want to? But within the parameters that exist, he has so much more to give. The sad thing is, still, no one's looking. Still, we're keeping people like John in boxes. If we could catalyse the sparkle in his eye, I saw that afternoon in his dodgy pursuit, we might find a new way for worker and employer to tribe together like an army on the march. Imagine the productivity, imagine the positivity, and imagine the new ideas from every corner of every room. But the clock ticks for John. He's counting every second. He's counting down the minutes left of work. Today, this week, this year, forever. Because John, like his employer, accepts that going through the motions is just the way it is. He's working for the scant times he's not required to be there, and he's also enjoying the spark of his sideline hobby. But one day, we all know it's going to end. But there are millions of Johns and Janes and Jamils. There are millions with so much more to give. Let's unleash them. Let's free their potential. Make it bring yourself to work every day of the week for all our sakes. Thank you.